Hello, and thank you for viewing Preparing for Your Next Interview, a webinar by Southwestern College Professional Studies. My name is Jen Cogran, and I am the Director of Enrollment Services and Marketing. Today we're going to walk through some tips for preparing for your next interview. We'll cover tips throughout the process, including before, during, and after the interview. Let's get started. The first thing you'll want to do prior to your interview is research the company or business. If you've already done this during the application process, great. You can just refresh your memory or dig a little deeper to be better prepared. Information is generally easy to find. Check the company website, social media profiles, or Google the company name. If you know anyone that currently works at that company, they can also be a great source of info. Ensure you know what the company's overall objectives are, and consider how the position you are interviewing for might support those objectives. This will help you be better prepared to provide more relevant answers to position-specific questions during the interview. You should also understand the company's mission and get a sense of their culture. Again, you'll want to consider how the company's mission is supported by the position you are interviewing for. You'll also want to ensure that the company culture is a good fit for your personality. You may find that you have a few additional questions after researching the company. Write those down to ask during the interview. Next, you'll want to be sure to prepare for the typical interview questions. Be prepared to briefly summarize what you know about the company. This can help you stand out as a serious candidate. Considering some of the information you collected during your initial research, be ready to state the reasons you want to work for this company. It's important to be ready for difficult questions. The more you can consider ahead of time, the more you can avoid uncomfortable moments or foolish answers. Always be ready to talk about your greatest weakness, handling conflicts in the workplace, and your motivations. While these questions may seem intimidating, they really are great opportunities for you to demonstrate your ability to overcome obstacles. If it's been a while since you've been to an interview, you might want to ask a few friends or family members about what interview questions they've been stumped on, or interview questions that have caught them off guard, so you can be better prepared to answer them. Now it's time to prepare your questions. Asking a few thoughtful questions during the interview helps you gather additional information to confirm that the opportunity and company are right for you, and they show the hiring manager that you're invested. Go back to those unanswered or new questions you developed during your company research. Is there anything you still want to know about the company or culture? Do you have questions about your supervisor, your peers, or your team? Do you have any questions about the general job responsibilities or expectations? The next tip can be difficult for some people, but you should be prepared to talk about yourself. Interviews are not the time to be shy. Be ready to talk about your accomplishments, unique experiences, and any other reasons that make you a good candidate for the position. It sounds funny, but practice in front of a mirror or ask a family member to be your audience so you can say things out loud. What can you share about your personality that might be relevant to the job? What will you share about your achievements? What about your work style? Be sure to keep the personal information you share relevant to the position. During the interview, you'll want to arrive just a little early. You want to arrive early enough that you demonstrate that you're responsible and punctual, but you also want to show consideration for the hiring manager, who may have other appointments or meetings prior to your interview. Arriving 5 to 10 minutes early is a good rule of thumb. It may seem obvious, but don't underestimate the importance of being polite and professional from the moment you arrive with everyone you interact with. Make eye contact with everyone in the interview. Listen carefully, and don't be afraid to take a moment to consider your response before answering. Also, be sure to dress appropriately. Even if the business typically has a more relaxed or casual dress code, arriving for your interview in business attire is still appropriate. Turn off those cell phones or other devices. The dreaded call in the middle of an important conversation has happened to the best of us. It may be forgivable, but it could still leave a poor impression. Eliminate the possibility for distractions or interruptions by ensuring those devices are off before you walk inside. As you're wrapping up the interview, make sure that you show interest in the position. Thank everyone for their time. Reiterate your interest in the position and why you're a good fit for it. You may also want to ask for expected timelines on a decision or next steps. You'll also want to promptly send a thank you. Emailing a thank you can be acceptable, especially if your previous communications with the hiring manager were mostly by email. but a handwritten card still has a special touch. Be sure to send a thank you to each person who interviewed you, even if you won't interact with them daily. I hope you found some of today's tips to be helpful. Thank you for listening. For more career and education webinars, be sure to check out our YouTube channel.